Good evening and welcome everybody. It's nice to see you in. There we go. Hello and welcome to the last of the Wednesday night lives. We will be moving slots soon. I just wanted, right at the top of the show, as I always do, to shout out to the replay crew. When you watch back, please leave a comment, have your say. I will answer all of your comments. And as always, if you wait long enough for the live chat to upload, you can swipe left and then you can click the option to watch back the chat, the live chat replay as well, which would be great. And again, mustn't neglect, thank you to everybody who's shown up live tonight to join in with us. The community is really, really important, and it's great to grow together. Make sure you also have your say in the live chat. If you want to ask questions, we have a very interesting guest tonight, please put your questions either in all caps or start your comment with a capital QQQ. It makes it so much easier to pick it out of the chat. Sometimes it goes very, very quickly. And I know you all like to chat among yourselves and say hi and have conversations in the chat as well. That just helps myself and my guest to pick out any questions and comments that are relevant. Okay. Right, I will welcome our guests in a minute, but just before that, I'm just going to catch up with some weekly news. First of all, a reminder, a few people have sent in ideas for new segments and topics that they'd like to see, but again, you're welcome to pop them in the chat or to email me. The email will be up later on. Yeah, the next live show is going to be Friday, 22nd of May. I'm having a week off, so there is no live stream on May the 13th. This is the last Wednesday night live stream. I'll leave that running, so a reminder of when the next live show is. Let's have a quick look at the comments and see who's in. Let's start. First person in today was Jay. Thank you very much. And we always, at the start of the show, like to thank Jay so very much. She's been a bit poorly and she still shows up and she still facilitates the show, and she puts all your links in the chat for us. And she moderates the chat, and she does so much to help the show. So thank you ever so much, Jay, for turning up and being ever present. We also have Bill. Hi, Bill, who is listening in. He's got the tab open and the volume up. So I think maybe Bill's going on with some work at the Wickershire project there, where he's building his off-grid homestead. Who else do we have in today? Hello, Kirsty. We have Kirsty of Heart's Humble Homestead in as well. Nice to see you here, Kirsty. A very interesting show tonight, folks. And yes, Rob, I can see you. Hello, I can see you, and I'm so glad you're here. Thank you very much. And he's in the pub, so reading the chat. That's fine. Hi, Rob. Nice to see you here. That's great. Okay, so without further ado, the thing we've been waiting for. So we are really fortunate. We have got an amazing community within the gardening world. Everybody is so helpful and so supportive, and our guest is no exception to that. He's an incredibly passionate gardener, keen interest in both chilies and also poisonous plants. You will know because you will have read it in the description. But I would like to say this: he's a really kind human being, and he always greets his audience warmly with a "Hello, my lovelies." And I always look forward to that introduction every single time my video comes up. I know I'm going to get that wonderful welcome. I would like to introduce you to Jason, whose channel is Allotment of the Dead. Hi, Jason. How are you?
Hello, my lovelies. Good to see you guys.
Yeah, that's the reading. We love that. I'm going to take that comment off because otherwise I should keep getting jealous because Rob's in the pub.
To be honest with you, I mean, I've got to have a beer with you.
So you're here. I don't usually, but I've got my patches for in a little bit.
It's the only thing that keeps the the heat down on the chilies. I think that one, so it's all good.
I was under the illusion that if you drank beer, it intensified the heat, and what you needed were fatty.
Well, this is Guinness. It's not beer. It's something
Ah.
else. It's more
Yes.
like
I
it's more like a
recall you said
food.
that in the last. Oh, no, who was eating chilies that day with you? Oh,
Probably
were you having a
that was
ghost
probably
chili?
Dave. It might have been. Oh, it might have been Dave. Bow tie life.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not sure. Somebody was. No, it was somebody eating a ghost chili with you, I think. Oh, it might have been Dave. It might be Dave. Just going to say hi. Sean's arrived. Nice to see you, Sean. We're going to have a live chili. We are not having a live chili eating contest. I am a wimp, and I don't think that you have prepared any chilies, have you, Jason?
It's a bit too
Not
early in the
eating.
season yet,
Yeah,
despite the
yeah.
amount I've got.
Or you could have freeze dried, frozen, or
I've
dehydrated
got
some.
about 2 bags full of super hot chilies in the freezer at the minute from last year, so I've still got some, and I do have chili on a lot of stuff still. Yeah, you could probably say I have chilies with most things. I think the wife thinks I'm a bit strange in that respect.
Yeah, well, Pete's here as well. He's got a beer as well, so I think that's at least 4
Fantastic.
of us with a drink in our hand.
That's the way to be.
Yeah, Rob's will drink anything, and Sean's. Oh no.
To be honest with you,
Yeah,
I'd go with
drink.
Guinness Zero. To be honest, it's not bad.
Yeah, not bad at all.
This isn't though.
Okay.
It's proper Guinness
Nice. Well, if anybody has any
for a
questions,
day at work.
yeah, pop them in the chat. I had some things I was thinking about. So I obviously I watch all of your videos because they're brilliant, and I love the warm greeting that you give everybody. But I
Yeah.
was watching. It was a month ago, and I need to go back with my notebook and take notes because I listened in and I haven't retained all the information. You were talking about chili families, the different families that there are, because as a novice, the first few years I've just like chilies are chilies, aren't they? They have like different, like tomatoes, but chilies are a bit different, aren't they?
There are so many different chilies, and I mean your basic 5 families. You've got your Chinese varieties, which are always going to be your super hots. They're going to be the ones that other people are going to know about because they're going to be in pain when they're eating them. That being said, there are mild varieties of those. So you've got things like St. Thomas's V, Habanada. They're both chilies that taste like really hot chilies, no heat at all. So those are the sort of things you can get if you really want a taste of what a really hot chili tastes like, but without the pain. Those are the varieties you want, and there's a sweet bonnet as well. So those are the ones to go for that. But also your little bequito peppers. Have you seen those on pizzas? So the ones that look like little teardrops
Yes, I
you have on
have.
pizzas, they're Chinese varieties as well. And again,
Are
you've
they?
got that nice little fruity taste to them. It's like a little pop of heat because they are a little bit hot. You've got your bequino peppers, but you've also got the chupatinos. So if you think of a chupatino as being a bequino or bequito with heat, then you
Okay.
kind of get that nice little flavour from there. The ones that most people will come across on their day-to-day kind of shopping trips and things are your random varieties. So your jalapenos, your sweet peppers, all of those sort of corno de toros, the long red peppers, sweet peppers, your fire, even things like your torpedo chilies that you buy, little bullet chilies, all those sort of things, relatively mild chilies, generally going to not do you too much harm, and they're really versatile. You can put them in anything.
Is that where the cayenne pepper sits as well in there?
Yeah, your cayenne peppers are in with the Annam varieties, and then your things like paprika that you buy from the shops. They are basically dried mixes of sweet peppers and Annam variety chilies. One of the ones I'm growing this year, and a lot of this year, I'm surprised actually how many plants I've actually got of it. I think there's about 10 plants of Targamores, which is a Romanian chili that if you dry it out, it's absolutely fantastic for paprika. It gives you a really, really nice flavour to it. The Frutescens varieties, they're little tiny variety ones, so they usually hold their little chilies upright, so poinsettias and things like that. Nice little small chilies, again quite fruity, quite flavoursome still though. We've got the Baccaton varieties there. They're one of my favourites. They have got this absolutely gorgeous, almost like a sweet pineapple taste to some of them. You got your lemon drop chilies in with that lot as well, and they're absolutely gorgeous. There's a bronze chili, which is something I
I'm
know
growing
I've.
that. You sent me the seeds.
Yes,
I've got
it's
that.
such
I'm
a
really
fantastic
excited for
chili.
that.
So tasty. Yeah, that little orange striped chili that it's got so much flavour to it. And then you've got kind of the sugar rush chilies, which I've still got chili seeds from Tony Smith's allotment when I went up there and helped him.
Okay.
I'm still growing I called it the Tony Smith Sugar Rush Stripey chili, and I've got one plant of that this year that's still going. And again, makes fantastic things like jams and sauces. And then I guess the last variety, which I've got an entire building that I'm going to put just that particular variety in,
Yes.
is the pubescens variety.
Yeah.
So
Your peep house.
I keep calling it the pube house, yes. So, but pube means hairy. So pubescens is hairy chilies. They are kind of an anomaly in the chili family. They're the only chili that gives you black seeds, and they are nice, really thick-skinned chilies. They get to a good size, so again, you make some really nice sauces and things out of them. But again, there's about 10 or 12 varieties of that I'm growing this year, which, even though
And
your basic setup is the same, they're going to be so tasty.
yeah, and flavour-wise, the Bactum. What's the difference with that? Because
Your
or is it just
Bacatums,
that they're fleshier?
they are a little bit fleshier. Some have got thinner wool than others. It's more for the flavour, really. All of these chilies, every chili family is Solanum. They're all Solanum species, the same as your tomatillos, your tomatoes, your potatoes, aubergines. They're all the same family. They've got the same similar looking flowers on them all. Your Baccatum varieties are pretty much the same as a lot of the other chili varieties, in that you've got an enormous amount of variety within that particular group, but also the different flavors that they're more going to be your kind of ají varieties, as they call them. Ají just means chili in Mexico. I think it's in Mexico. So those particular chilies are the ones that are going to give you the specific flavors. So you can get orange kind of varieties, pineapple, lemon, and they do have that citrusy zing to them, which makes them really quite tasty and flavoursome.
Oh, nice. Yeah. So
if you can get a lemon drop chili,
freshness to it.
lemon drop chili is a fantastic versatile chili. Makes some fantastic lemon drop
I'm
sauces.
growing more chilies than I've ever grown before this year. And I don't do hot chilies. I'm not quite sure what happened in my head. I just bought a few. I'm just, that thing where you're like, wow, there's so many seeds in this packet. I may as well
That's how I
sell them all.
started, I think.
And then I thought I'll have a chili sale, but I've had rotten luck. All the plants survived, but they're looking a bit sad because I've had aphids in.
Oh,
All the
right.
leaves gone. Ah!
Yeah, you get aphids. You
no.
need ladybirds.
Yeah, I saw a lacewing on my balcony because I put them out because I thought, well, hopefully, and I saw a lacewing, so I'm hopeful. But yeah, I've
It's
got
always
loads at the
worthwhile
farm.
buying a load of ladybirds. I know some places where they grow lots of plants. They do kind of buy in ladybirds and release them.
Yeah.
But yeah,
last year on the farm, they were carpeting the grass. Like you couldn't walk without. You could at any point you could spot at least between 20 and 100 ladybirds, depending on how hard you were looking.
Yeah, they're amazing. I think if you see them in action, the thing I've always had issues with in the polytons is ants, because ants farm aphids.
Yes. And my cure for that is chickens, because chickens will not only eat the ants, they scratch up the whole nest and they eat all the eggs and everything.
That's fantastic. I'm not sure I
They're
can get
brilliant.
chickens though, unfortunately. We've got foxes.
In my last garden, I had a real problem with ants, and everywhere I put a bed, very quickly there was an ant's nest. But I mean, the aphids, it was a bit of a
Yeah.
nightmare, and I just let my chickens in. They ate all the plants as well, but once the nest was got, they dug them all out. That was
Yeah,
great. So.
but the thing about the ants in polytunnels is difficult to get rid of them. Really, people always say, "Oh, leave them alone; they're going to do you any harm." But I always lose probably at least 4 or 5 plants to aphids every year, and it's not necessarily because they're farming the aphids. It's because they kind of dig amongst the roots, and everywhere they make an air pocket, that's basically an area on the root that's not going to be able to take up any nutrients or water or anything else like that. So your plant ends up just kind of toppling over.
Yeah, that's not good.
Bit unfortunate. So yeah, I always end up having a few spares here and there to put in, but not all moves may be the ones I want. It's when you've kind of got an ant's nest under the one plant you've got that you want to grow, and you want to see the pods on it. That's when it becomes.
I think I'll be digging it out, washing the roots, and putting it in a pot.
It's worth a try. It's not always, unfortunately, something you can do straight away because almost invariably you get to it too late, and unfortunately.
How would something like, yeah, it is quick. That's the trouble. I was going to say, how would something like cutting from it? But again, you've already got a weakened plant, and taking a cutting from a weak plant doesn't help, does it?
No.
And aphids like to follow weak plants as well. So Eddie's put up there, he grew the apocalypse scorpion last year, and they have deep roots all the way to the gates of Hades. I'm just wondering, how does the apocalypse scorpion, if you know, compare to something like...
That's a super hot chili. The apocalypse scorpion chilies are over 1 million. They're kind of approaching the top end of almost to 2 million, some of them. Again, Chinese varieties, there's such a variation even in the same variety of chili. So you could have a apocalypse scorpion one year could be, maybe 1.8, 1.9 million, and then the following year can go past the 2 million barrier. It's one of those really strange things about chilies is that they're very, I guess, susceptible to the amount of water and stuff you give them. If you kind of treat them a little bit more meaner, they tend to be a little bit hotter. They don't generally retain as much kind of water within them. So
yeah, I noticed if I want to if I want a hotter chili, because I only grow the very very like the jalapenos, I'm a bit of a wuss. Just don't water it quite as much, and they come up a little bit hotter, don't they? Or I found that. I could be completely wrong. Sean's got a great comment there. So you want some slow worms?
I do. That would be really good, and they look cute.
They do. Unfortunately, you're not allowed to go
protected.
Looking for them.
Yeah,
they are. You can't just. And same for the ant-dried soil out. They do because they just dig all those air channels through, don't they?
Exactly. Yeah, and again, one of the ways of getting rid of them a little bit is maybe just kind of putting lots of water down on them. That being said, you put too much water down, it's going to kill your plant as well. So, unfortunately. So the focus interest in both. So the allotment of the dead is named as such because of that interest in poisonous plants more than anything. Not necessarily the chilies. I guess the poisonous plant side of things was after a trip to Alnwick. I don't know whether you guys are aware of Alnwick Castle and Alnwick Gardens. That sort of area is... It's where they've got a lot of really, really nice plants and stuff like that. So one of the reasons why I'm growing, as an example, the Himalayan giant lily this year is because I saw how they look. And if you get a chance, there's one of my videos where I've kind of look at the lilies. But the Himalayan giant lily, even after it's dead, the seed pod is amazing. It looks like a weird kind of tooth thing that wants to bite you. But it was all from Alnwick. Alnwick Gardens is an amazing place to go and see. And they have a poison garden. They get people you can go in and walk around. They'll tell you about all the different things that potentially we're growing in our garden. So pretty much everything you grow in your garden can probably not do you much good, to be honest. So even your basics like your foxgloves and all the bulbs that we've just had, so fritillaries, daffodils, snowdrops, bluebells, they're all toxic. They've all got these kind of compounds in them that can, especially if you eat them, the things that can give you some really horrible gastro issues, but also if you're kind of looking at things like monkshood, aconitum, accidental poisonings of that, and when it can potentially give you paralysis and death, it's not something you want to be playing with.
Don't
But
want to be playing with, no.
but if you go to your local National Trust, Hidcote especially, Hidcote's got a fantastic selection of aconitum, and they're right next to the path, and you think, okay, there's going to be kids running past there, and I'm surprised they get away with it, to be honest, because it's one of the
Yeah.
most toxic things we've got. It's wolfsbane. They call it the queen of poisons, and it's been used in murders and things like that. So it's amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But
Alnwick Castle's or Alnwick Gardens was where I got the garden idea from.
yeah, it's just it's incredible the things that we have around that are toxic. I mean, I know I've got deadly nightshade in my hedgerow. I've spotted it.
Oh wow!
And a few other like deadly things. I can't remember what it's called. It's in autumn. It just has like a string of like little red berries that look like beads. It's very pretty,
Oh,
and I can't for the life of me remember what it's
is
called.
it white
And
bryony? Um,
probably.
it's
I
yeah,
just remember looking up, thinking I might put it in a wreath for Christmas. I went, oh
yeah.
no, I don't think I
They
will.
call it English mandrake, I think, if it is white bryony. I've tried growing some of that this year, and the plants I've transplanted them, and they've not done very well on the transplant. So again, I'll
Oh,
try and grow some down the plot, because again, I think you can coddle some of these plants too much, and then they end up um, not doing so well when you move them from the house to the allotment. So I'm going to probably try and start a few more of the poisonous plants actually down the allotment and see if they fare a bit better. I know my
yeah,
henbane always grows better down the plot than it does at home.
yeah.
Henbane being the plant that the witches used to use for flying potions, because it gives you hallucinations,
Oh,
basically.
oh, yeah. I guess that makes sense. So you might not
Yeah,
actually fly, but you might think you have.
yeah. It's supposed to have a really horrible smell to it as well. Though. It's supposed to smell like rotting fish, because it's got amines
Okay.
and things in it. But yeah, I've never really come across that. That being said, I quite like the smell of amines, which is kind of weird. Um, because
Um,
I've got a weird sense of smell. And like I said before, with people, I think a few of my videos I've said I can smell ants. There's about 20 to
oh,
25% of the population can smell ants, and I'm one of them, unfortunately. So I know there's ants in somewhere
oh,
before I dig them out.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, some of the plants. I mean, the one that I've grown recently, the voodoo lily. I think hopefully you guys have seen that on one of my shorts. It is an absolutely amazing thing to look at, but I had to move it out of the polytunnel because it's really stank of
Smell. I know. I saw you
rotting
like,
meat.
oh, it's not in here anymore because I can't cope with the
Oh
smell.
no, it's rotting meat. It was literally there's that kind of a musty kind of smell to it as well, and I think it's also been described as dead rats or something like that. And to be honest with you, when you smell it, and it is only for a short period of time, these do not flower for very long. So sometimes you're lucky if you even see
So
them.
once it's finished flowering, can you put that then back in the polytunnel where it still smells
Yeah, and then
bad?
it will grow or it can stay outside now. But I mean, potentially, hopefully, we've got no more frosts. That being said, the pot's been outside through that entire winter when we've had -5, and it's been fine, and they've come back. But if you have a look for voodoo lilies and look at the stems and the leaves of the voodoo lily, you can see another reason for growing it. It's an amazing looking plant. Again, toxic to an extent if you eat it, but again, most of these things are only really toxic if you eat them. Um, but yeah, it's. I think the varieties I've got this year there's probably quite a few that I hadn't tried before, and some of them are really really difficult to get to that next level. I made a massive mistake with the aberin, the rosary bead plant that I was growing. I got them to some nice little plants,
Yeah.
and I should have kept the heat on them a bit, but they ended up they're
Uh,
wilting a bit
that's
now.
that's the trouble at this time of year. You get to the point where you have not enough space anywhere indoors or lights or
Yeah,
heat pumps. So you start trying to push things out. I know I made a mistake. I put out my potato slips and my loofah to harden off a little bit because it was sunny and warm, but it was windy and they've got really wind burnt. And I'm like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. But
yeah.
It's yeah.
I think
But
I saw a
yeah,
question.
Sean's asked a question. Any tips for someone who is not getting much guidance with GERD? That might be about.
Remind us what that is again. I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember either. I'm gonna look on my phone. What's GERD? So Google while you work.
Google where you work. So the other side of things, the chili side of things, I think I grew about 6 or 7 varieties one year, and then I think I managed to find acid reflux. Um,
Ah,
I managed to find a few of the varieties I wanted to try, and then I thought, okay, there's over 3,000-4,000 varieties of chili out there. I'm going to try and grow all of them, but I don't know. It just became almost like a habit with me. I think I'm a little bit on the spectrum. I think, and when I've got something I'm interested in, I jump in with both feet.
mm.
So it's crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I noticed that you don't do things by halves. Don't just go, oh, I
no,
quite like that poisonous plant. I'll just see how many
yeah,
hundreds I can grow, or how many hundreds of different
yeah.
chilies I can grow.
Sean, the acid reflux side of things, is that acid reflux when you're eating chilies or acid reflux when you're generally? Because I get it myself. And
Yeah.
for me, when you've got it and you've got that kind of acid coming up, the one thing for me is hot drinks, but hot milky drinks like tea, coffee, that sort of thing. But as long as there's milk in it, and the heat actually helps with the esophagus as well. Sometimes it works better for me than some of these preparatory things like your, I guess your milk and magnesium and all that sort of thing that people kind of turn to. But yeah, it's a big issue with a lot of people, especially of our age, unfortunately. As you get older, things start loosening up around your throat and things, and around your kind of your sphincters everywhere start loosening up a bit as you get older, unfortunately. And yeah, it's an ongoing thing. Again, staying clear of spicy foods, alcohol, and all that sort of thing. I'm not sure I'm going to be very good at that bit though. Um,
Yeah.
but again, even stress can have an effect on it.
It
So
can. I would say I don't know too much about acid reflux. I know the kind of medications you can get for it, but I'm a big stalwart of I'll have a cup of warm milk and it'll go
yeah,
away.
I say it, but it's that sometimes it's the warmth that helps the esophagus as well. Because a lot of the pain you get from it, yeah, you get it in your stomach, but you also get it in your throat and that, and a lot of that kind of thing can be kind of dissipated a little bit with the heat. So it always helps a little bit.
Well, we've already talked about some of my questions I had about toxic plants because one of the questions I had was what sparked your interest in the poison plants. My son was like, when he heard you were on, he's like, oh, I might watch that. He goes, maybe he was an assassin and now he's retired. He can like
I had an
let
interest
everyone know.
I had an interest in serial killers as a kid, and then going into my early 20s, I was conversing with serial killers. That
Oh,
didn't necessarily mean that I'm going to go down the route of growing poisonous plants because I want to kill people. I've got to say that 100%. I grow poisonous plants now. Again, the interest is it's not only kind of what they can do, but also how they look. Most of these really poisonous plants, things like your aconitum's, your foxgloves, even your foxgloves, you've got probably 10, 15 varieties straight off that you can get, which have got so much difference in them. You get these really tiny flowers on some of these foxgloves, things like the rusty foxglove, almost like your wild type foxgloves, and they're a lot, almost like little bees climbing up the plant. It's there's so much variety in a lot of these things, and they're always the prettiest,
yeah.
and they always bring the bees. Even
Yeah,
things,
they are very pretty.
yeah,
Oh, I think
even the your winter rose and the in
very.
hellebores in the winter. It's one of the only things that flowers in the winter now. I mean, you've got kind of your laburnum, especially I've got laburnum, but it's about that big at the minute,
Yeah.
Jim. It's really tiny.
Say hi to Jim.
Um,
Hi, Jim.
yeah, I'll have to come and see your laburnum when I
Yeah,
come over and have a look.
yeah. It's really I found it quite amusing. School that I used to work at really wanted to make a memorial flower bed for one of the children that had passed away in school. And they really wanted it to be bulbs because they wanted something that was quite cheap and everybody could bring in and contribute if they wanted to. So we had all these bulbs, this big old planter, and I'm like, they're a bit toxic. And they're like, no, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. And I put in, because they wanted it in a raised bed, I put in lots of those crystals that hold the water. And I got non-toxic ones. And they phoned me and went, one of the kids has been digging through and eating things from the flower beds. Can you tell us about the crystals? I'm like, you can't do that. And they're like, why, what's in it? I went, that's fine. He can eat as much of that as he wants. That's non-toxic. That's safe. But you remember I said bulbs are a bit toxic? You need to check whether he's been eating any of the flower
majority of bulbs you get are going to be toxic.
Yeah.
There is, I don't think there is any that aren't.
And they dug up the whole bed. They removed all the because they wouldn't believe me. I went the packet. I've left it in the cupboard. You can read it. It's safe. Children, animals. It's not toxic. They removed all that and put the bulbs back. And I was just like, I don't think he ate the bulbs. I think he was just obsessed with these because they look like jelly, don't they? When they around, you find it and it's
almost like semolina.
Look a bit like jelly. Yeah, so I think he just thought, I wonder if I can eat that. And it turned out he could.
In mentioning kind of toxicity in schools, and we've got laburnum right there, it's kind of interesting that back in the 1960s, 1970s, they had this kind of weird idea that they were going to put these really gorgeous looking laburnum trees in the schools. And there was laburnum trees in a lot of schools across the UK. And kids were basically, because the seed pods on laburnum are they look like peas. Kids were basically taking them off the trees and eating them, and ended up with laburnum poisoning, to the point where when the kids were going into hospitals with poisoning or query poisoning, one of the first things they had was almost like a grab kit for laburnum poisoning. And in the end, they kind of figured out what was happening and started taking the trees out. But yeah, it was absolutely gorgeous looking trees in a lot of schools. I think I even had one when I was growing up in a school.
And I get concerned with wisteria because those pods look they're a legume, aren't they? So they have the pea pod, look like pea pods, and that worries me. I know with mine, I don't have one in my current garden, but my old garden I used to take the pods off as soon as I saw them. As soon as the flowers were done, they were deadheaded and removed because I didn't want to have So we've got a question from Eddie. I think I know the question for this. And I think
this one here.
Too soon.
This one here, I think I've had a kind of mixed feeling myself about this one over the last few years. Now, for me, science-wise, it makes sense that plants mostly will grow flowers when either they're stressed or when they're kind of old. So they've got to the age where they're going to start making flowers and start making fruit. That's usually when they start kind of setting it or putting the flowers out. So in the past, up until very recently, actually, I have been taking the flowers off the first ones, and I've even been topping some of the annum varieties of chilli. Now in the UK, we don't have a long growing season, so sometimes topping a chilli, which if you talk to some of the people in places like Australia or America, where they've got these really nice hot weather, and they will look down on you for topping a chilli to the point where they want to kind of hang you from a tree. Basically because sometimes that can set the chilli back itself, the plant itself. So I wouldn't dream of doing that maybe with a Chinese variety, but things like annum varieties, taking those first flowers off, for me was okay till recently. I saw a video recently from Sean from Chilli Chump, who asked that question, and he did some research on it, and there was a research paper which looked at a hell of a lot of chilies, a lot of chili plants. It was in a hot country, but they looked at taking the flowers off. They looked at topping the chilies and things like that as well, and they found that it didn't make that much difference. But I think it's a variety thing. The science makes sense. If something's great is putting flowers out, it's going to put a lot of energy into making those flowers, but seemingly it doesn't make that much difference. So
fair enough.
When you've got these commercial growers, in effect just leaving them, their yields have been pretty much the same, if not better, sometimes from actually not doing anything with them in terms of taking the
Okay.
flowers off. So at the start
Okay.
of this season, I did start taking the flowers off on the annum varieties, um, but the rest of them, they're gonna do what they want to do. So as long as you're kind of feeding them every so often, you're giving them the nutrients they need, because chilies, same as anything else, same as same as looking after kids, they're going to need that food. They're going to need that little bit of nutrition every so often just to keep them going, because it does take a lot out of them growing all these flowers and seeds
Yeah.
and pods and things
So
like that.
we'll
So my
move
my
on
take
to.
on it at the minute would be I would leave them on maybe for most of them.
Sorry, it just sparked another question in my mind. So when you're talking
Yeah.
about feeding chilies, what would you recommend for feeding chilies?
I currently use Focus Chili Grow, which is kind of
Okay.
a preparatory thing for chilies most of the time. That being said, you can use seaweed fertilizers, you can use the tomarilla kind of things.
Oh, okay. So I'm using
Tomarite, sorry. Yeah, I mean
um,
those sort of things
organic
are fine.
seaweed fertilizer at the moment.
It depends on what part of the season they're in. If you want your plant to get a bit bigger, they're going to need a bit more nitrogen. If you want to kind of start, kind of make sure your roots and your flowers are going to be kind of ticking along, and then you need to look at the other potassium and
Okay.
phosphorus kind of side of things. So it's a constant juggling act, I think, really, to get the best out of them. But in terms of how often you should water them, it's when it's you shouldn't drench them to the point where they're consistently drowning. And again, the amount of water you give them can change the heat. So sometimes it's down to how much heat you want to give them, and sometimes it's down to potentially. I've always, for me, it's always if the surface of the ground that they're in is seemingly a bit dry, and you can do that. Just stick your finger in. If it's not kind of moist, you don't want completely dry, but you don't want waterlogged. So you've got to keep looking every so often,
Yeah.
then give
I
them a
think it depends
water.
on
But
conditions, doesn't it?
yeah, it does. And
Like
again, if you've got
if it's hot, they're going to need watering more often than.
big time, yeah. So they're going to dry up a lot more if you've got 40, 50 degrees in your polytunnel, and I've had that already in my polytunnel. I've had
Yeah.
45 degrees in the polytunnel already, and we're not even into June yet. It's crazy temperatures we've had. It's one of those weird things with the whole global warming and stuff, I think.
Yeah. Well, Bill was asking about if we ever get a break in the season, dry weather and lots of sun. We've actually had quite a dry, sunny couple of weeks down here, but last summer was really dry and hot, wasn't it?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that they call it almost like pretend summers and things at the
Yeah.
minute, but it's kind of these frosts and things can take you by surprise though. So I'm hoping the risk I've taken in putting all my chili plants out, I'm hoping it's not
Are they? When you
too
say
much
out,
of a
they're
risk.
out in the polytunnel, out.
They're in the polytunnel,
Yeah.
and we've got one of the allotment of the plot holders here who's put a load of tomatoes outside, and he's lost 4 to frost already. But then he'll
Oh,
turn around, turn around and talk to you and say, "Well, I've got another 15 that aren't succumb to
yeah,
frost, and I've got
yeah,
spares." So you think,
yeah,
okay, fine. Again, it's
yeah,
all down to managing that risk, managing that those particular kind of challenges that we've got, and we're going to have them every single year. If it's not bugs and
yeah.
insects, it's going to be heat and
Mm.
too much
Do you know
water.
what I'm really struggling with? So I mulch to hold in moisture in the soil. My issue is it's been so windy here. Right? It's quite a windy site anyway, but it's so
Yeah.
windy, it's blowing my mulch away.
Oh
So
right.
I've used all sorts, and it's just blowing away. The most successful thing I've done is my potatoes, because obviously you mulch right up to the top leaves with
Yeah.
straw, and then I've put net over the top to hold it down. But I've tried all sorts. My wood chip plants were all blown to one side, and I put down landscape fabric on one bit that I haven't planted yet, and put pallets on top of it, and the pallets had blown away with them. Like, oh goodness me, it's so windy.
Horrible. I use stalk a lot, especially in pots.
Yeah, I think I'll
Once
probably
it's
use
moist,
it.
it kind of sticks together a bit. It makes a nice little kind of mulch cover
Uh,
for a lot of the ground that you're using.
yeah,
So yeah, it's again quite variable in terms of keeping that moisture in. Again, I have stalked around a lot of the chilies sometimes, and that does help. You don't have to water them as often then either, but
Yeah.
you've got to kind of, I guess, get used to your plants. Look at what you're expecting your plants to look like, and then if you can get, you can generally kind of know when they're not doing so well. If you get like a droop in the leaves and things like that, you can go, okay, they need a bit more water. So let the plants be your kind of measure as to what you need to do with them. But again, it's getting used to seeing them every day and getting to know them. It's a bit like having a dog. Kind of give it a bit of petting every so often and a bit of food, and they're generally going to be okay.
Talk to them lovingly.
Yeah, I play classical music down the plot, and they seem to do all right.
Oh, that's
But
all right then. Yeah.
yeah,
Pete wants to know what sort of size pot to grow chili in. It does depend on the family as well, because you've got the different families and they grow to different sizes,
no,
don't they?
not
Right?
necessarily though, because you got some of the smaller varieties. They absolutely love being. To be honest with you, chilies don't really appreciate you going up through the pots too quickly. So if you've got one that is potentially root bound already, don't go for the next massive pot you can get one, in effect the next size up, because they almost, if you give them too big a pot, they sometimes they kind of forget what they need to do with that, and sometimes the water that you've got isn't around the roots where they need it. So um, for me, going up gradually, and this year again, I haven't really potted them up into massively large pots before they've gone into the ground. I've found I put most of my chilies straight in the ground, which is, it helps them, I think, no end, because they can find their own way. And yeah, I plant them way too close and way too many, but I get pods. I get, a decent yield out of most of them. Some of them probably would do better if they were maybe potted, and I've got some potted that I'm going to be potting this year. So I've got 6 varieties of Chinese variety 2-pot chilies that I've got specifically for the chili grows I've got this year. So I've got two sets of chili grows, 6 plants. So I've got 3 of the hottest chilies in the world at the moment is going in one of them. So that's the Carolina Reaper, the Warthog chili, which I did a tasting with, which was horrible, and the Dragon's Breath
Vicious.
chili, which again, I think that was the one I sent to a lot of the other YouTubers across the country. I know Duncan loved that one. The pain on his face, bless him. But so I've got those 3 in one of the things, and then I've got a new one called Remert in the other chili grow with Kev's Fried Chicken. I don't know whether you guys have heard of that one.
I've heard of the fried chicken, but only because I watch your videos so much.
Yeah, Kev's Fried Chicken it looks like a KFC chicken leg, the actual pod, and I think it's going to be a really nice one this year. And then the last one of those is I think is a brain collapse peach. I think it was called. So that's going to go in the third one of those. So 6 varieties for the chili grows. I would love to plant my chilies. So I think the Wickershire project, they plant them minimum 16 inches apart. I wish
Yeah.
I could. I wish I had that much space, to be honest.
Yeah, it would
I
be
would
nice.
love. I
Well,
would love more
I've got the
space.
space. I've got 9 acres, and that's not the problem. It's the maintenance of the growing space, and I've had to be really careful about not going mad and just rotating an acre or something like that. Because as nice as that growing space would be, I've still got to keep it weeded and fend off the pheasants and the deer and the rabbits and the squirrels. So.
Mm.
Um, so I kind of do have side restrictions because I've given them to myself.
Yeah,
But,
I,
being
I I
nice.
know I don't treat my chilies properly. Wiltshire project. As I say, but again, it's for me. It's that it's me wanting to do something rather than whether I
He's a
should be
hoarder. You
doing it
know
that
that
way.
person that has like a horrendous amount of cats and dogs in the house, and the police have to raid the place and save the animals. That like Jason's like
Yeah,
that, but with chilies.
yeah, yeah. I probably use them and abuse them rather than treat them the way they should. But so some have a soft spot in your mind, in your heart, and you kind of treat them a bit better. But yeah, I go OTT, and I probably put way too many in every single year.
Yeah.
But uh, I'm interested in tasting them, I think, more than anything, and seeing the flavors, and some of them are so tasty. But they give you those surprise different heats and things. But yeah, I know I'm abusing them, and you probably, if you look at my channel, Wikishard Project, you'll probably be, you probably go, what the hell is he doing? I
Oh,
do that. I do that myself sometimes.
Bill has the most amazing project. So he's gone off grid. He's got a tiny home, and
Yeah.
is it? I think Tennessee. I can't remember. Tennessee. You're in. Hang on, you did put in earlier. He's somewhere warm and humid, and it's got the heat to grow the chilies outdoors.
I would
And he's just got
probably
it
have
all
my
going on.
entire
He's got
plot
things.
outdoors.
Sorry.
If I had the heat and the sun, the hours of sunlight that you got in some of these countries, I would have them all outside, and then they would be further apart. But I don't unfortunately have that ability, unfortunately. So I make do.
Yeah.
I make do.
Well,
And
I'm growing mine outside this year. I'm going to have a few indoors for chilies that I really, really want to taste and try. But I'm going to try everything outdoors because last summer our temperatures were so hot. Would have been really, really easy to have grown chilies outdoors last year. You probably were the same, but we don't tend to get the cold nights very much here.
I've been growing my
I know
tomatoes
Sean.
outside most of the time.
Yeah, I know Sean has said that he's had a few frosts this winter, but I've had two. I kept going, oh, we've only had one frost this year when everybody else had like the deep snow. We had one frost and it was gone by 10 o'clock. And then I was very smug. We only had one frost, and then I planted some things out, and then we had another late frost.
5 in a row, and it even got in the polytunnel. It killed all of everything that was trying to potentially over winter, and yeah, regardless of the chilies, I knew they probably weren't going to make it. It's just
I've got a calendula that flowered all winter and is still going.
My best plants for over winter are the ones I left outside. So Nemesia, I've got Nemesia in a pot outside the polytunnels, which does really well and comes up again every year. But the ones inside that I had in hanging baskets, forget it. They didn't want to know. And again, I think it's because they're not getting that variation in temperature throughout the year. They're kind of getting kind of extremes of hot and cold.
Oh gosh, yeah. Steve had a hard frost last night. He had snow so much later than everybody else as well. He's had all the cold weather. Yes, Tennessee. So Bill from the Wikishard Project is in Tennessee. So it's properly hot there in the summer.
That sounds like a road trip to me. I'd love to go out there. Wow.
Well, if you'd highlight Bill's project, I'm sure he'd have you.
I was going to say, I think my next one I'm going to see, I think is Jim and Lou over in Wales.
Oh yeah,
so
that'd be.
I'm gonna.
Oh, they are amazing. I'm hoping Jim has hinted because Cornwall is where Jim originally is from.
Yeah,
he might come down and visit the farm. That would be really awesome. It'd be really nice.
Yeah, I think to be honest with you, it's the people I think that make doing these sort of things so much fun and so enjoyable, and the interaction between the kind of the different people. I mean, it's like when Jenny came up to see me, she was expecting to be probably on my plot for about an hour, and 3.5 hours later we're still chatting. It's crazy, really.
Poor Jenny. Yeah. She drove down to me, and we literally were rushing around and filming all day.
Yeah.
We said, oh, we'll do an impromptu live stream at 4 o'clock, and we'll do the filming this morning. We'll go have lunch on the beach, and then we'll come back. And everything just took so long. We were talking so much. We literally rushed back, rushed out to get lunch, rushed back. And we tried to live stream, and I went, I don't think it's working. We were a couple of minutes late because we were like trying to work out how to live stream from a phone because we'd never done it before. It was madness. And by 9 o'clock in the evening, we both really need to go to bed now.
But it's just like talking to someone you've been talking to for forever, though, isn't it? It's the kind of people turn up, and you're not really strangers because you kind of you've seen people doing their thing on their channels and things, and most people are, or they appear as to how they they appear on screen, most of them.
Yeah.
There's very few that aren't, I think.
Yeah. It's just this comment, how Steve's weather is so different from us in Cornwall, and it's amazing because you think of America, a massive country, so of course you get the extremes, the very cold. I know Robin Gardens is up there in the north in Chicago, and then you've got people like David who are down in Florida, it's very hot, and Tennessee, and the humid beach, and you can understand because it's such a vast area. But the UK, it's like it's a speck that can fit into some of the states in the US many times over. And then we've got like the Highlands in Scotland, and we've got Steve there in the north a little bit, and then we've got us down here with our palm trees and cordylines growing, and like 2 frosts maybe in the winter. It's crazy the difference.
Yeah, I find that just even moving kind of about 20 miles up the road, and you get a completely different thing. Again, a slight increase in height, going up a hill somewhere. And I just say from here to Derby, and you get a massive difference in the amount of rain and stuff you end up going through. But I think every day's a learning experience. Every day's an opportunity to see something new, I think. And I think with what we're kind of doing, you do get to see that a lot. I mean, there's things I'm growing now that I wouldn't even have thought about years ago. I mean, the video I made.
The weather's changed since I was growing up. Like our biggest problem growing when I was younger was things rotting in the field because of the wet, cold weather in the summer.
Yeah.
Now it's drought.
Yeah, but it's extremes sometimes. You can have drought for 5 days, and then all of a sudden you get this torrential downpour with thunder and lightning, and everywhere's underwater. It's kind of the bits in between is difficult. Yeah, I know part of my plot it still floods. It's a little bit of rain and it floods, and it's probably because I probably should have added a bit more, I guess, sand and stuff to it before I put the membrane down on it. It's mostly my paths really more than anything.
I was going to say, could you put a raised bed in there to solve it? But no, you probably raised bed for the plants and then waders for you.
Yeah, rice. I'll plant rice. We'll do all right.
That'll work. Yeah. You plan to plant rice and it'd be a record drought year. Like, oh no.
Yeah, it'd be fantastic. But yeah, I don't know if you guys have seen I think my last video was earlier today about the longest postal of a plant that I ordered. So I ordered a plant back in January 25 that arrived yesterday. Any of you guys had anything similar out there? It'd be interesting to hear. Yeah, it was again a new plant for me. Have you ever heard of a Chilean guava?
Yeah, I've got one.
Oh, I love it.
I have. It's tiny, my one.
Yeah.
It arrived.
I think I've got 3 tiny ones now.
I think I was a bit disappointed because I paid for something in a 3-litre pot.
Oh, right.
And I made a video about it and kind of did a review because I was so disappointed, and they gave me a little bit of a refund, but not really. So they sent this 3-litre pot with this tiny plant on the top. And when I took it out of the pot, like you do, all the compost fell away, and all that's left was something that had been in a 350 or 450 ml pot with the root. So they'd obviously just got that pot and plonked it in a bigger pot and charged more money. And I went, I feel like I'm just paying for very expensive compost, and they still would give you a £5 refund. But I paid £30 for this plant. I was not happy. I was like, should have been a tenner. It should have been £30.
So I'm hoping they do all right, because it's supposed to have a flavour a bit like what was it described? Yeah, it was kind of pineapple, strawberry. Flavor. Yeah, it was supposed to be strawberry, pineapple, and either bubblegum or candy floss. So
yeah, and the other thing I'm excited about, I've got a cold hardy pomegranate.
Oh,
which is under a cloche at the moment because the pheasant really like the flavour of it. So I'm hoping that they haven't killed it off. So I'm quite excited about that. I quite like the pomegranates.
It's where the idea for grenades came from.
Is it?
Yeah,
Didn't know that.
because pomegranates look like grenades. Well, the original
Ah,
grenades, not the stick grenades that they used in Germany. The ones the British used were
yeah, the one with the
based on the
pins we throw
pomegranates,
them.
and the
Ah,
original early ones that they used in China with when gunpowder and that started coming out.
mm,
Yeah.
yeah. Right. I
So
have two. I
grenade
want.
is actually the word for grenadine, which was pomegranate.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Of course it is. I didn't even
Yeah.
think of that. You know so much about things that kill people. It's like
Yeah.
plants and grenades. Sorry.
It's
There were two
awful.
things I really wanted to get to before we go because we're almost out of time. We've got 5 minutes left, so kind of a quick wrap up. First of all, do you have any challenges coming up where people can tune in and watch people suffer and eat horrible chilies and choke on milk and then we
If
all sit there gripping the edge of our chair, wondering whether or not we should call an ambulance on behalf of whoever's.
Yeah, I sent some seeds to Dave from Bowtie Life. Again, thanks to Sean from Chilli Chomp for giving me the pods this year. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to do that. The warthog chili, which was the hottest one I tried last year, and it's probably the hottest commercially available one at the moment. He's grown it this year. Now he struggled with the Dorset Naga, so that's going to be interesting. But we're going to do a live tasting with that one later on in the season.
Hopefully, he'll be sensible and just go a small bit and not one off the
No,
other.
you've got to go the whole pod. You've got to go the whole pod. That's where
Oh,
Jenny bit the end off a dragon's breath, and I was so disappointed. I was take a big bite out of it, but no, it's got to be the whole pod. I think you kind of got to get the full taste of it. But so that was one of the ones. I will be doing probably doing the dragon's breath tasting again, which I've got. I always get my work colleagues to do. A few family and friends. If anybody out there as well wants to give that a go later in the year, let me know. Because I'll get to the stage where I can send you some pods, and if you make a video for me, I'll include that on a
I'm growing the Joe's long.
on a compilation. Yeah, the Joe's Long is fantastic, to be honest with you. It's a really good one. Cayenne chili for things like your powders and sauces and everything else. So it's it's one of the reasons why I put it down as the challenge chili, because it grows really long chilies as well.
Yes,
So
that was the second question I have for you is
yeah,
tell us about your grow along and if people can. I guess it's a bit late to sow.
you can probably still do it. The thing about annum varieties, they do grow very quickly. It's just a case of getting them started, germinated, and getting them started. It's going to be difficult with the growing season we've got, but it's surprising how quickly the annum varieties grow. You can probably put one in the ground now, and you'll have chilies probably by end of July, August. It's
So
just a case of
what is the challenge if people want to join along, Jason?
so the challenge this year was to, again, both parts of this challenge are using Joe's Long. So Joe's Long is for the longest chili. So I need the longest chili that you can grow on your plant. Just need, I guess, photographic video footage of that, and then there'll be a prize at the end of it. And the other one is the largest yield from a single plant in weight. So
It
again,
was so
it's
good
Joe's Long
last
again.
year. It was so good. I was watching.
There was a lot of really
Who
good
won last year in
entries.
the end?
I'm trying to think now.
Because Duncan was looking really good for a long time.
Duncan was second. I think there was.
Yeah.
I can't
I was like,
remember
he's
the
got
names
it. He's
now.
got to have it. He had like a big
He
carrier
weren't
bag
far
of
off.
these.
Yeah,
He had a big carrier bag of these
there was
chilies. I was
half.
like, he's got to win.
Yeah, in terms of the yield, I think the one that got slightly, it was only slightly more, and again the longest chili as well. He missed that by about half a centimeter. It was crazy how close.
Oh, this year. And I'll be trying
So
again.
yeah, and again,
He put in a heated bed in his polytunnel and everything.
yeah.
He's like, I've got to get them this year.
And the Joe's Long is a fantastic chili for long chilies. It's the
Yeah.
world record holder, I think, at the minute. But again, doesn't have to be Joe's Long for the longest chili. If you want to grow a long chili, it doesn't necessarily have to be that. Bangalore Whippet. There's lots of other cayenne varieties that grow really long. Thunder Mountain, not particularly tasty chili, but it does grow long chilies. All of those sort of things. I think there's even one called Vindaloo that I grew last year, which grows quite a long chili.
Yeah, we've had this question. I think he wants an actual number. what size pot's good for a chili plant?
Depends where you want to put it and what sort of chili it is. If it's a small variety, frutescens, or an annum variety like a Demon Red, then it doesn't necessarily need a big pot. You can use it like as an ornamental chili and stick it in a, I don't know, 10-litre pot. But if you want to get some really big plants with lots of chilies on, the biggest pot that you can get. But again, don't put them straight into a big pot. Go up in size, because they do like that little bit of confinement to the roots as they go. If you've got a decent root ball before you go into the larger pot, then it makes it even better. But yeah, go gradually. Is what I would say.
Gurgled. It's the cider. Right, we have run over time, so I'm really sorry. And do you know what we've missed? I've seen some amazing chat. I'm going to have to go back and look through it all. There's been some amazing conversations going on there. I just haven't had the chances. You've got so much knowledge about these chilies. So I think everybody agree. If you would come back at some point in the future.
Yeah, I think maybe once these things start growing, we can show you how we're doing. I'm expecting the both polytunnels, to turn into jungles at some point. So
yeah,
it should be really good. And I'm growing poisonous plants in amongst them as well. So moonflowers and climbers to bring in the moths. So some of the pollination will be at night for moths. So that'd be really good.
Oh, that'd be good. That'd be great. Okay. Well, I'm just very, very quickly, I'll leave you on the screen. I'm very, very quickly going to just remind people that there is no live stream on the 13th of May. It's the last Wednesday live stream. So the next live stream is now going to be on a Friday, 8 p.m. The very first Friday one is going to be May the 22nd. So I'm having a week off next week, and then the following week we'll be starting again on May the 22nd. If anybody wants to email me for any reason, like they would like to be a guest on the show, or they feel they have comments or suggestions for me or topic ideas, then please feel free to email me. The email is also available on the landing page for the channel. If you hit the All About Me section with the more information, you can see that. And all that is left to say as I am winding up is thank you very much, so much, Jason. Your knowledge has been invaluable. We've all learned so much tonight, especially me, because I'm not a massive chili grower, although and I'd also like to thank everybody in the audience for keeping me company, and I'll see you next time. And I'm sorry I didn't get to all the chat. I will check that out later on.
There's lots to answer on there.
There's so much, and it's just everything led to a great conversation. I didn't want to stop the conversation, but I also acknowledge there was amazing conversations and answering questions and things in there that we just missed a little bit.
Chill tipping, absolutely gorgeous chili. I've just seen some of the things coming up now, and I'm like,
yeah, we could do another hour, Jason.
I'd say that chill tipping chili is the closest to wild type you can get. Immediate heat, fantastic chili, really good.
Oh, nice to see you in, Robin. We're about to go, I'm afraid. Yeah, a little bit late, but catch us on the replay. It's been wonderful. Thank you for showing up, even if it was a little bit late. And take care, everybody. And I'm going to end the live stream there. So thank you, and I'll see you next time, 22nd of May. Bye.
All the best, guys.